Ladies and gentlemen, grab your tea and get ready for Tea Talk, where the topics are real, relevant, and relaxing. It's Tea Talk time, and here's Lady O.
Thank you, Tracy. And I am so excited today because I have one of my favorite people in the whole wide world here with me today. And it's Miss Eileen Morris. We call her Miss Eileen, but she is coming to us as the director down at the Ensemble Theater. And I just wanted to have her come and visit with us today because it's the Christmas season. And, you know, during the month of December, I always bring you a few of my favorite things. So why don't you go ahead and start calling up your friends, texting them, emailing them, letting them know that the Ensemble Theater and Miss Eileen Morris is going to be our special guest today. Now, while you're doing that, I want to just show you my other collection. I told you each week I'm going to show you a collection. This collection is my dining room collection. And after my last child left the home and flew the nest, I got new china that said, "Peace is more than a season." So it's all set up with that. And then we've got, "Let the spirit of love gently fill your hearts and homes. In his loveliest of seasons, may you find reasons for happiness." And yeah, so a couple of things on here. These little birds are my birds that flew the nest. I have 4 of them for my 4 children. And so each thing on here is kind of significant of something about my family. And so this is me and Bishop. We're still in the nest, but we don't have any chicks in there. So it's my little salt and pepper shakers. So anyway, it's just all those wonderful things that I've collected over the year that we have our Christmas dinner around. And that's the theme of peace. May the peace be more than a season. And so that is our wish for you. And that's my dining room table in my collection. This is my, you know, when I was growing up, I wanted a set of china and I wanted crystal glasses. And the people at my wedding, they bought you real stuff, like real bowls and cups and forks and paper, plastic things. So that's something that's special too, as you can see. There are many things back here that are very special to me. I even have a tea set over here too that is around the corner. You can see it like right there, the handle of the teacups and so forth. So that's the collection for today. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our tea talk session today. And I would like for you to help me welcome Miss Eileen Morris from the Ensemble Theater. Miss Eileen, welcome to Tea Talk.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, Lady O, it is a pleasure to be here. And I have to tell you that tea is my favorite go-to, make me feel good, just warms my entire being. So I love all types of tea. So to have this tea talk with you, I should have thought about it and had my little teacup and ready to go with my tea. I love your pattern with that, your china pattern too. That's beautiful.
Well, that's okay. We can do tea another time. Just look us up and do it. This one is more of a mug, but it's what I use in the winter because we use cocoa and wassail and things like that. So, but yeah, well, I love tea too, and I like warm things just like you.
Yes.
And I just feel so warm when I get a chance to see you and talk to you.
Well, it's my pleasure always too, because I feel the same way. We've been in each other's lives for such a long time. You and Bishop Ogletree, is just a blessing to be able to have you all in our lives, in my life as an individual, as a woman, as a Black woman, but also as the artistic director of the Ensemble Theater, because I just feel like we've all kind of grown up together and been a part of each other's life in many ways. So I'm grateful to be here with you in this tea talk today.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so honored. And you know, we were talking about how we go back so far.
Yes.
And, now we've become like family.
Right, absolutely. And you know, it's funny because you think about that as family, you think about the relationship and how the relationship has evolved over the years, with you telling me that our founder, George Hawkins, Pastor Bishop Ogletree's mother was taught him in Sunday school or in school, right? At Morning Star Baptist Church or something?
At the Morning Star Baptist Church in South Dallas, okay?
In South Dallas, because yes, he was from Dallas.
And his mother and he and Bishop were all in the same church. And so my mother-in-law taught him Sunday school. And so when we met him back in the day, when the theater, like I said, was about this big, way back when, we rekindle our memories because he's from Dallas, we're from Dallas. And then on down the line, we followed the ensemble theater, and then we met you. So tell me, what is it like to be the only Black theater in the city?
Well, I first have to give the honor to Mr. Hawkins, our founder, because George made a lot of sacrifices for the ensemble theater, Lady O, to be in the position that it is today. And you don't think about that because you go, oh, that was, because first of all, we're celebrating our 45th anniversary season.
Wow.
And so to think about the fact that 45 years ago, Mr. Hawkins founded this theater. George went to school at Prairie View A&M University, so he's the product of an HBCU. And he was an accountant at Tentacle Oil Company. And he was always doing theater because he always had a love for it. And he would audition for plays and do various things, but he just felt that there was not anything there that was totally speaking to his spirit as a Black man, as a Black artist. And he wanted to find a place or to create a place where African-American artists could practice and perfect their craft, where the stories that are being told could be stories that reflect the African-American experience. And as you know, we often say, when people come to see plays or young children come to see plays here and they go, oh, mommy, she looks like me. And he wanted that so badly for the city of Houston. And he did it by, giving up a lot of things. He took his retirement money from Tentacle Oil Company and started the theater. And I was really very fortunate to be able to work with him. I moved from Chicago, Illinois, and I was able to, and I told him, I said, I heard about this Black theater. My sister had told me about it. And so I said, I wanted to go and meet George, and I did. And he said, I really am getting ready to hire a managing director. Would you be interested? And I was like, yes. And so when he said, when you're ready to move back to Houston, let me know. And I did. Once I moved permanently, because I did that on one of our visits, then I actually started working with Mr. Hawkins. And you're right. The location of the Ensemble Theater, Lady O, was at 1010 2am. So it was a 1,000 square foot facility, like a little box. I always tell people that when we only had 2 restrooms, a male and a female, but the space was not even like 3 feet from the back of the wall of the theater to the restroom. Exactly. And so the actors, when we would go and be getting dressed for a play, when the audience members would come around back to use the restroom, we'd have to go out and we'd have to plaster ourselves up against the wall so that the audience could come in and go use the bathroom. Then when they would come back out, we'd go in there and hurry up, put on our makeup, finish getting our hair ready to go on the stage.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know it's very humble beginnings. I tell you, it was so tiny, I would not even go to the bathroom. I was just like, I'm gonna hold it. I didn't know it had a bathroom. Honestly, I really didn't. I mean, we were literally in everybody's face. But but I tell you what, the new building that y'all got, I think you've had 2 buildings since then, and it is just amazingly beautiful, state of the art. And so let me ask you this: how? Because I know George spent his money, and I know he was pinching pennies trying to keep it going.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you keep a company like this going? And even with the economy and even with COVID, tell me how you've been able to juggle these balls and keep it going.
Well, we are so blessed that we are able to have a strong community support, because that's what has been keeping the Ensemble Theater going over the years. I mean, again, George rallied all of the troops of people that he knew, that he had went to school with, and that he had built professional relationships with, to have them be a part of the theater. Even during the time when we first moved over here, we're at 3535 Main Street, and we do own this facility. And the Ensemble Theater is one of, that we know of at this time, 7 African-American theater companies that own its own facility in the world. And we're one of them. So that speaks volumes. That's in the world. So it's the Ensemble Theater in Houston, Texas. It's ETA in Chicago, Black Ensemble Theater in Chicago. It is the West Coast Black Theater Troupe in Sarasota, Florida. It is Hattie Lou Theater in Memphis, Tennessee. It is the Arena Players in Baltimore, Maryland, and the National Black Theater and the other Black theater in the New York City. So those are the 7 theater companies that are part of the owning their own, well, as we say, brick and mortar
Okay, that's important.
facilities. Yeah, it
That
is.
is important.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're talking about making it through a pandemic and the economy,
Right.
it really does help when you own the property.
But as well, because when you own it, then there's already fixed costs, as you know that so well, that are associated with the day-to-day routine. So when we were during COVID, people were like, well, you don't have to worry about paying rent. No, we don't pay rent, but we pay a light bill, we pay a phone bill, we have to pay air conditioning, all, even though we weren't in the space, because of the fact that we still have certain things that we had to do to keep the facility up and to maintain. But again, the community, our patrons have had such a love for the ensemble theater. And we always say, we don't want you, sure, we love and enjoy the fact that you're coming to see a production and seeing a play or participating in some of the other activities that I'll talk about later. But most importantly, we want you to buy into the institution. Yes. And in buying into the institution, you know that you're in there for the long haul. So you're coming along for the ride with the ensemble theater, right?
Well, let's talk about that real quickly before we get past some of the other stuff, because one of the things that we as African Americans have to do better at, and that's supporting our African American businesses. And this is an entity that I would say that we all need to invest in, whether you come to see the play or not. That's right. I know you have seasons tickets, or can you tell us about how to become, is it seasons tickets?
Yes, subscribers, season subscribers. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So there are so many ways that you can support the ensemble theater. And you're right, those consistent dollars help us to maintain the, first of all, the facility and the wonderful artistic programming that we do, the staff that we have on board. It helps to maintain all of those things. And so the way that people can help with that is by, first of all, we always say, tell somebody about what the ensemble theater does. Because the ensemble theater, we say, is where the E is for everyone and everyone counts. So that means that,
everybody up here, make sure you share this. Tell somebody about the ensemble. I'm going to say, do a high five and tell 5 people about the ensemble theater, because somebody just may not know about it. And we don't want this show to go off without some more people knowing about it. So I want you to go ahead and share with some other people and start telling somebody, girl, did you know it was a Black theater in town?
That's right. That's right. Okay. That's right. That's the tea talk right there. Okay. That's the good tea. As the Gucci people say, that's the good tea. I'll take my bottle with you, my bottle of water. So the tea part of the tea talk is, supporting the theater, letting people know about it, bringing a group of your friends, like you had your birthday party with us where you invited a bunch of your girlfriends, ma'am.
I have a group that's coming next week.
Oh yes, hallelujah!
I always bring a group of my girls together.
Yes, Lord, and I can't wait to talk about the play, because you're in for a treat with that. But telling other people and exposing people to the work that we do, the plays that are speaking to an experience that, even though it comes from the African American perspective, it's a universal theme. It's universal because life is what it is, right? Yeah. And then, so another way you can help inform people is to subscribe. And the way you can subscribe is like, look online, figure out what package works best for you. We have opening night. We have, all 6 plays. We have a triple play, which is just for 3 plays, or you can come and bring 3 people to see 1 play. So there's various ways that you can support through subscriptions. And the thing about, Lady O, the subscriptions that are given to the theater, that, when people support in that way, is that they're supporting, the stability and the year-round part of what we do. Of course, single ticket buyers, people purchasing tickets, for that particular show, then also making a donation. We have 2 different various ways. We have the Founders Circle, which is named after our founder, George Hawkins. And that's where you can, support by giving an annual price or donation. And then when you do that annually, then you're saying, look, I'm here with you guys. We have different things throughout the year that will let you come and have special opportunities to get behind the scene activities and that type of thing. So there are various ways that you can support. If you work for a company or organization that has a matching fund, we say, hey, let the ensemble know about it, or you donate and then they'll match it. We are now looking at long-term legacy opportunities. So if you're looking to do something, you're trying to figure out who do I leave something to in my will, that's another way for the ensemble theater to be present, because that again ensures the longevity of the institution to come for years to come for the community.
We want the ensemble to be here forever, because one of the things, I can speak personally, my daughter Lamborghini came through the ensemble summer program one year, and they had a youth production.
That's right.
Cats or something like that it was. I know they were cats, and it was really great. And then she was also in the Christmas production.
Right, Christmas is coming uptown.
Christmas is coming uptown.
Yes.
That was a wonderful professional production, and my daughter was in. I think she was like a junior in high school.
Yes, she was. Yes, yeah, she was a great little actress. We really appreciate her being a part of it. And that's the other thing, is that when you think about all the different varieties and ways of how people can see ensemble plays and ensemble patrons can have, be a part of it. It's so interesting because like Lamborghini was a part of our young performers training program, as well as Michelle, your daughter-in-law, Michelle Ogletree, was a product of the Young Performers Program, which is a training program that myself and Mrs. Audrey Lawson of Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church founded, so that we could have an opportunity for young people to be able to be around the arts, to be able to have that experience, to be able to, take themselves out of their shell or what have you, and just express themselves in another way.
Looks like we're frozen. Oh, we just froze for a moment, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's go ahead, and because I got to get to this right quickly.
Okay.
You have over the years, the Ensemble Theater has many productions that they have done, and I won't even start to begin to say which ones were my favorite. Of course, the Christmas productions are definitely one of my favorites, because I always come that time, and I come in February for Black History Month. The Green Book was one of my favorites that and it's historical stuff that you can teach your children about history. Those are some of the times when they get to learn about other historical figures. So there's so many, but right now during the Christmas season, I always go during the Christmas season. And this year, like I said, we're going to be coming up there, a group of ladies and myself next week. But the great thing that the ensemble has started doing in partnership with First Met is they bring the theater to us at Christmas time, so that the community can get a chance to see professional Black actors and actresses, do a Christmas production. So they're going to be here tonight. So that's why I wanted to have her on, so that if you have not planned to be at First Metropolitan tonight at 7 p.m., you need to stop whatever you're doing and be there. It's going to be 7 p.m. Our address, of course, is 8870 West Sam Houston Parkway North. If you just go online, or we'll put it in the chat room for you, but come, it's free, open to the public, and they're going to come out and share some things with us, a production. And so Miss Eileen, tell us about that.
Right, it's called A Motown Christmas, and it was adapted by our director choreographer, Mr. Keith Tyrone Williams, as well as it's written, the book is by Nate Jacobs. As a matter of fact, the playwright, Nate Jacobs, Lady O, just has a wonderful article in the New York Times about him and his play and the Black theater that he works with. So that's exciting to know that, we have a New York, we have an playwright that just got a big article done in New York. That's right. But the Motown Christmas is about the music of Motown, not just holiday music, but the music, the historical value of what Motown gave to us, because we know that it was the only Black recording studio at its time in Detroit, Michigan. The building is still there in Detroit. So you're hearing songs from the Supremes, like Stop in the Name of Love. You're hearing the Temptations, songs like Just My Imagination. Right? You're hearing Gladys Knight and the Pips singing Midnight Train to Georgia. Then you come along and then you go into the holiday Christmas songs. So you're hearing Joy to the World, Oh Holy Night, This Christmas, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So the songs, the music, the kind of brevity of understanding the flow of telling the story of how Motown evolved and how the Motown artists were number one in their areas, and then how these Christmas songs became a part of who they were. And there's songs like Temptation's Silent Night. Everybody loves that song.
Oh my
And we
goodness.
all sing it every time we hear it, on the radio, or we play it for our families. So that's what Motown is about. It's about celebrating the wonderful, delightful, delicious music of Motown, and then what that means for us and how it makes us feel.
Exactly. Now, Motown is my era, okay?
I
we
know.
were playing something the other day on the radio, and Bishop and I both looked at this and said, that's real music right here.
That's real music.
Music.
You know all the words to the songs. You know every dance move that you used to dance. Do that.
Yes, ma'am. So, the thing when I thought about, Motown Christmas, and I know the combination of songs as African Americans, and I think people in general, music is such a different, it's a culture in itself. Yes. And for the African American people, music is extremely important in what we do in our social life, but also in our church life.
That's right.
So that combination of bringing it together, I can just not imagine, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do.
Right, because it speaks to the soul, right? I mean, our theme this year for our 45th is called Indomitable Spirit. I mean, it's because we have such a, our spirit is such where we are doing everything that we can to maintain, to be able to, keep that spirit flowing. And music, just like you said, Lady O, does that for us. Music kind of speaks to us in such varied ways that we can't help but, enjoy it and want other people to be a part of it. And definitely Motown Christmas does that for everyone. I, run in from my office when I hear a certain song playing, and we're gonna, and I'll run in to listen to that song. The special thing about tonight, when you all come to see the show tonight as well, is that it's at 7:00, so we want you to get there at least by 6:30 so you can get in the doors. But we're going to this will be the first time in our collaboration and partnership with you guys that we're bringing a live 3-piece band. So the band that's playing for the show will be playing with us so you'll get to hear it live and up in person, and we have these projections. If we can get all of that working with us right there, we've got projections of various things that show you about the history of Motown and that accent the play, that help to, just bring more life to the play. So we've got a few little new twists that we're going to bring to you guys, some new magic.
I know. Well, we cannot wait. We cannot wait. Now, listen. Okay. Tell me about you. I mean, you told me a lot. I know you're not from Chicago about now, but is this what you wanted to be as a little girl? Did you ever imagine or dream that you would be here?
So I get misty when I think about this, lady. I'm going to tell you something. I tell everybody that I went to Catholic schools all my life. So my mom and dad are from Houston. My daddy was born in Opelousas. My mom was born here in Houston. They met and moved to Chicago, and that's where we were raised. But we all went to Catholic schools from the time we were in pre-K all the way through high school. And when I was in 5th grade, because I loved being raised Catholic, and I loved Christianity and what that all meant, and Catholicism, and I wanted to be a nun. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a nun.
Are you serious, Miss Eileen? I cannot.
So serious. I'm so serious. I wanted to be a nun because I loved kind of their connectedness with God, or how I felt about how they made me feel and all of that. But I don't know what happened. Right around that same time, I started wearing glasses. That's where your hormones start kicking in. And I was like, I don't think I want to be a nun, So I knew that I wanted to be able to work with people, and I loved entertaining. And my parents were the type that they allowed us the freedom to be involved, even though we were raised Catholic, in so many things. So for me, we went to Baptist church, we went to Pentecostal church, we went to Sanctified church, yet we were raised Catholic. We had a broad spectrum, and I was in the choir, the community choir, so we would go visit all these churches and sing these, different songs. That's how, because people always go, Eileen, how do you know all these songs and you were raised Catholic? I said, because I had a broad spectrum that was given to me. And I knew from that point on that I no longer wanted to be a nun, that I really wanted to be in performance, and I wanted to act. And I put my foot forward, of auditioning at my middle school. They called it elementary school, then elementary to 8th grade. And they wouldn't cast me because I was black. I wanted to be, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And they were like, you can't be Snow White. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, why not? Because of the color of my skin. And because of who I was. So I'm a stubborn person when it comes to things. If you telling me what I can't do, and I know I possibly have the talent. So I would audition, I would study so hard, Lady O. And I got cast in those plays because they had to pick the best person. And that's what my entire career as a young person in grade school, middle school, and high school was about proving that as a black actress, I could do those roles, even though traditionally they weren't called for. And then I majored in theater in college. And I went to school at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois, and I majored in theater. And there we had a black theater kind of section because there wasn't an opportunity. Once again, remember, I'm a product of the 70s. And so there was not an opportunity for me as a black actress to be able to be seen in plays because they were only using white actors to do that. I could work behind the scenes or work in an ensemble, but I couldn't play the lead. So we founded a black company that was in conjunction with the theater department, and we would do all black plays, like A Soldier's Play, No Place to Be Somebody, Raisin in the Sun, all the plays that we know and love today. Those classics I was able to do as a young person, freshman, sophomore in college. Yeah. And that really turned my love around for theater even more so. And it gave me such pride in knowing the kind of work that was being out there, but that before I hadn't had the opportunity to do. So then you fast forward, and then I moved to Houston. I got married after college and moved to Houston and started working with George. So that's kind of in a big, whirlwind way how I got to Houston. And I just love what I do because I tell people all the time, I've been so blessed.
Yeah. Wow.
My entire life to be able to work in theater, to be able to make my living, even though in those early years, up until, 15, 20 years ago, I wasn't able to make have a regular paycheck. You know that. But I was still able to, work in the arts and, perfect my craft and inform people about what we do and then bring young people along. And so I don't take it lightly. And, I think all of us here at the Ensemble Theater, when we get to do the art, we feel very blessed.
Well, one of the things I'm hearing so many things that you're saying, but I hear you're very persistent, very patient, because I know that becoming an actor and actress does not happen overnight. Mm-hmm. And even if it does, the money does not come. Yes. Equity is not there. So what would you say today the biggest changes made and for African-American women or even African-American actress and actress, have we arrived? Do you think there's equity there now?
Oh, I definitely feel that there have been more opportunities for us as African-American artists, totally, but especially for women. When you look at film work, and I'll use that as an example, they always say there's the Caucasian male, the Caucasian female, the black male, and then the black female was at the bottom of the totem pole. Mm-hmm. However, what has been taking place is that more and more opportunities are happening in the world. And with equity, diversity, and inclusion being at the forefront now, everybody's thoughts and everybody's we're holding each other accountable. That's what it is. And we're saying no longer, you need to look at me, kind of what I was saying back in the 70s. You need to look at me for the actress that I am, and then you make the determination about me doing the role, and that's what's taking place. So you do find that more equitable opportunities are happening for Black women and Black men, and then we have more artists that are writing, that are behind the scenes, that are in front of the scenes, that are directing. So they're providing more of an opportunity. You can see that by just think. Just this from October until now, Lady O, there were 7 Black plays on Broadway. 7, all at the same time. Never in my lifetime have I ever known that to take place.
Me either. That is something else. So we are making some progress.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's good to know because, my family they're artistic. And I know that little Harper, honey, as soon as I can get a part for her, I had her this weekend. Lord, you need to just go ahead and give her a part as soon as she's legal. Okay.
She's something else. I love Miss Harper.
She's ready. So what would you give advice? Because some of the people on here are listening and they've got children, or even if maybe someone who is a teenager or young adult who wants to break out into field, but they don't know how to do it, or what advice would you give them?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, it's important that we support our young people in the activities and what they want to do, because they're just figuring it out. They're kind of wading in the water, trying to see if this is something that feels good to them. But a lot of times you'll find that it helps to them to break out of their insecurities. It gives them self-esteem. We always say that when a young person is working with us on a show, their grades get better and they'll find a whole world of difference for that young person and what it is that they're doing. So I would suggest to that young person that they actually try to get involved in some kind of professional activity where they can do training in theater, dance, music, behind the scenes. So technical theater is hugely important, because you can a lot of times make more money in technical theater than doing work that's on stage. You know that from the work that you've seen Lamberty do and Miss Michelle and all of that. So I would suggest that they get involved in some kind of training program so that they can improve who they are. They need to constantly be studying. Go see plays. You need to see a variety of shows so that you can go downtown to the alley. You can go to 80 plays. You can come to the ensemble theater. Of course, you must do that. And then go to community theater. There's theater in the churches. To give yourself the opportunity to do a variety of plays, because that's going to inform you, which will inform your position and how you present the art if you're deciding that you want to be an artist. And then you got to keep that kind of stick-to-itiveness. You got to know that if I like this, then it's okay. It doesn't matter what other people say. First of all, don't listen to them. Listen to your parents and listen to your elders and things that they're telling you. But if it's speaking to your heart, you just gotta. My mother always said to me when I told her from the time that I decided I wanted to be an actress, she said, "Oh, I don't care. Okay, if that's what you really want to do." She said, "You need to make sure that you can support yourself." And so she said, "So you have to go to school. You have to try to." So she had me major in English, and my minor in English, but my degree was in theater. And my grandmother, God rest her soul, she was Creole. She never understood acting and being on television and all. She said to me, she said, "Oh, but mes chers," she said, "why you want to waste your mama's money?" And I just went, "Oh, Nanny, if she could see me now today, my grandmother Maisie Lee Dorian, and to know that, I'm able to make a living at what I do." But it didn't come easy, right? It came with a lot of sacrifice and hard and not getting paid a lot of times. And then, even now, just the sacrifices that it takes to make art happen, and the kind of the way that the world is trying to continue to have your voice heard. We just lost Bell Hooks the other day, the writer Bell Hooks, and she was one of those that paved the way for Black writers, female writers, and activists to, for her sharing about Black women and being feminine, Black feminists. So when I think about those types of things, those things affect all of us. And I think that that's why I say that stick-to-itiveness and keeping your head held and saying, I'm going to make this happen, and I'm going to do a variety of things so that it shows the breadth of who I am as a person. And I learned so much from that. And then I have so much more to give.
That's great. That's wonderful, wonderful advice. I think you're absolutely right. I think that another thing that I was hearing here, and I thought about it before, you have some students who are not college material.
Right, that's right.
They're not going to go, turn the world upside down with education, whatever. But there are other things that they can do in the artistic theater realm. And like you just said a minute ago, and they can make money.
That's
So
right.
can you talk about some of the other positions besides being the star of the show and being on the screen? There's so many other people in the
Oh,
production.
my gosh. First of all, technical theater, there's so many opportunities for young people to work in technical theater. So what I mean by technical theater is like costume design. So if you have an eye for color, for way things should be put together, that's costume designing. If you like fashion, that kind of thing. Lighting design. So, you know, how lights look and how they make us look. There's certain lights that we as Black people have to have on our faces to make sure that our skin tone comes out right. You can't just put any kind of light up on us because it's not going to read because of the different hues that we have in our skin. Sound design, our sound designer is a computer wizard because he knows all the different aspects, and you know that from in church. You know, because your son Johnny works a lot with, Pastor Johnny works with a lot of sound, and he's a sound designer, you know, really. And so sound design is an element of that. Any type of thing that you do with the computer, young people, that's an opportunity for you to be able to work at a theater, to work at an institution, to work at churches, and you can still do what you love to do. You're creating, you know, an opportunity for yourself as well. And then, of course, there's prop design, hair and makeup design. So all the things that, you know, like young ladies, when you were playing with your dolls when you were younger, putting on makeup and putting, you know, fixing their hair, there's a career in that. There's definitely a career. And you could do that in film. You'll make a lot more money in film as well. So that's why I'm telling you about all these different variables that you can do that still provide an opportunity for you to be able to make a career. During COVID, Lady O, we did a lot of things virtually. So we had to learn how to work the computer, edit things, put things together. So all of those skills which young people have today, like at the drop of their hat, they come out of the womb doing this.
Kids are telling me, no, Nana, do it this way.
That's right. Swipe this way. You're swiping them out, and they know how to do that. So use those skills to your advantage to be able to find a way to stay in the field and all of that. And there's just so much more out there, more opportunities that you can really embark upon, like low budget films or community film things that are being done, community centers, teaching. Now another aspect of that is we always say that we have a lot of artists that work with us at the theater. They're teachers. So they work in the schools teaching young people about acting. And then they come to the ensemble theater at night and they are performing, they're doing their passion, they're able to express themselves, they're performing on stage. It's great because you know that they're coming because of the love of.
Yes. They're coming because they love doing it. It's a part of who they are.
Yes.
The pay may not be there, but I mean, just you get so fulfilled. The thing that I wanted to say about, and I want to say this, and some mother out there is watching, that I'm feeling that could really look at this and say, okay, my child doesn't fit anywhere. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to do this. But you get them behind that with a computer or doing these kinds of things. You just, when you were listing, I was trying to keep an account, but I know you listed at least 10 different things that
I did. That's right.
You know, and you didn't even mention choreographers
and musical directors and you know, that's why I said I know the prop designer. I missed a couple of things, right?
Yeah, and if you like putting on makeup, you know, these young people today know how to put on makeup. Be a makeup artist, you know, or designer, whatever. But this is so important. I noticed that even in the movies and the Academy Awards, you know, they give Academy Awards and Emmys and things like that.
In those categories, that's right. They could write plays. If you love writing, then use that to your advantage. Like keep yourself a journal and write down the things. I'm a big believer in like making sure that you have you keep a journal and that you have a vision board. That you put in that vision board, even from a young child. I did this, where you put in there, in 3 years I want to do this, 5 years I like to do this, 10 years, because the whole thing is that the power of speaking it out loud is huge, is monumental. And when you put things out in the universe, it's like the power of prayer. right? When we pray, they say, where two or more are gathered. Then as we begin to gather and pray, their voices are heard, and God hears our voices, and he hears the cry of the people. And it's the same thing when you put your things out on the vision board, or you put down, I'd like to do this, or I believe in this, or this is something that I want. If the universe kind of collects that information and they put things in place, that, you know, that's how God does. He lines the, I hope it's okay for me to say that because this is what I believe. He lines it up.
You know who you're talking to, right? Hey, you know, oh yes, ma'am, it is right, because the life, said the power of in your tongue, the power of life and death is in the power of your tongue. So you speak those things.
That's right.
Not as though they were.
That's right.
The word of God, and we believe that, and I taught that with all my children.
Right.
That you know, you need to teach them how to pray.
That's right.
Speak things into existence, and even speak against things that are coming against them.
That's right.
Doing what they want to do. So I think that's, yes, definitely, you need to do that. And I, you know, if you've got a child, let me just tell you right now, you just don't let them go the way they want to go.
That's right.
The Bible says, train them up.
That's right. Guide them. That's right. You're guiding them.
Where are they gifted? See, if you have a child that's always getting in trouble, what do they like to do?
Right.
Find out what they like to do and turn it into something.
And steer them in that direction. That's right.
Steer them in that direction. And the theater is a great one.
It absolutely is, because we've seen the changes in our young people over the years.
That's another one.
That's right.
Videography, and even, you know, I don't know what you call the mic thing, sound techs.
That's sound tech, a dramaturg. That's somebody that loves research. Yeah. There's so many opportunities for people to be able to work in various fields outside of acting. And acting is hugely important, but there are more jobs than just acting.
Oh yeah, and look here, and you cannot do the theater without the other people, the support.
That's right.
If the lighting's not right, if the sound is not right, it's a hot mess.
We always say that a lot of times, Lady O, there's more people that have put all of this together, the team, the creative team that have made that happen, than are on stage. But it takes everybody's job is hugely important, because that's what makes the play and everything that we're doing work. That's what we're building towards. Absolutely.
Okay. Before we go further, we got to talk about some of what's coming up. All right. Well, first of all, tell me a couple of I already said, you know, one of mine was it called the Green Book?
The Green Book, yeah, absolutely. That was the last play we did before COVID.
Yeah. So that was the last one I guess I went to. I don't think I've been to one since then, but yeah, before COVID, I went to that one. Oh my God, amazing. And let me tell you what the Green Book did for me. It took me back to my childhood, because at that time, I probably was about 8 when all that stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The other things that I saw my mom do, with the Green Book and the Green Stamp Book and all those different things, it just kind of made sense to me. But as a child, I didn't know why we did those kind of things, but now I know.
Now you know. That's right. And that's the beauty of what art does. You know, it gives us, it informs us, it entertains us, it enriches our lives all the time. So I have so many favorites, Lady O. But okay, one of my favorites is Joe Turner's Come and Gone by Mr. August Wilson. And I love all of August Wilson's work. He wrote the play Fences. People may remember that. You saw the movie Fences, or The Piano Lesson, or Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So, but Joe Turner is one that not a lot of people know about, but it's because of the story, you know, that and the way that he has the characters intertwining with each other, I love. And that was my first equity show, so I probably feel connected in that way. I love the play A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry.
Yeah.
Because she was the first Black.
Others of his, but I didn't see that one. I think that was Ma Rainey, what's her name? Ma Rainey's
Black Bottom.
I think that was the last one of his that I saw, but the others I've seen except for that first one. So I got to get to see that one.
Yes, it's wonderful. And then A Raisin in the Sun, because Lorraine Hansberry, the playwright, was one of the first, one of the first Black women to win a Tony Award for Best Play. And just because of the story about these, Black people in this family deciding that they're going to move into a neighborhood that's not necessarily welcoming them, but they know that they deserve to be there. And that, I think that's what that's what I mean about our indomitable spirit as African Americans, which is why we had our season theme that. And then another one that I really love is a play that is written by Celeste Bedford Walker, who's a Houstonian playwright, and she wrote a play called Sassy Mamas. And I like that because at the age that I am in now, as a single, Black woman now, and having been divorced, and in the next part of my life, you think that there's still an opportunity for me to continue to work, continue to stay healthy, to continue to have a romantic interest. So there are other things that can happen in my life, and this play deals with that. It deals with women, who are saying that my voice needs to be heard at this vein and this time of my life, and how it can be heard. And so it's fun, it's sexy, it's all those kinds of things. It highlights women in a really wonderful way. So there's so many, I could just rattle off so many plays, but I love it when they have a great story. That's important for me, for it to have a great story, an identifiable story in some way, even if it's not me personally, somebody in my family. I see somebody in my family that could be like. I remember I saw August Wilson's play Fences in Germany when at the time I was married. He was doing the play in Germany, and I thought, how is this going to work in Germany? These people are not going to understand. But the story, the dynamic, the aspect of who these people were was universal. Wow. And those people sat there and they were in tears, and they felt like, oh, I understood what was going on. I know I've been there. That's somebody in my family. And it just touched my heart. So that to me was when I understood the power of the arts.
Wow. And that was one of my questions I was going to ask you. You just kind of answered it, but I was going to ask you, how do you select the stories? How do you select the production?
Well, I think, I'm always looking for plays, Lady O. So I'll go see. I just came from New York, where I told you about the play, and I saw 4 plays in 3 days. I went to Atlanta last week, and I saw 2 plays in 1 day. And so I'm always, looking for plays. People will tell me about shows that they've seen. Our playwrights will send work to us, and then I'll read the play. And then we have a program committee through the board, because we have a really, you were asking earlier about how do we survive during COVID, and I talked about the community, but it was because of our board and what that board has done to make sure that the ensemble theater stays healthy and alive, and the staff and the artists, because all of those people sacrifice. We spent many a night, in wee hours of the night, figuring out budgets, doing different things. And so that's how we come up with the plays, because we talk with each other, we see plays, we read, I read all the plays and different things. And then we just, I let people know that I'm always looking for work.
Good.
Plays, yeah.
Well, when you mentioned, I just have to give a shout out to my dear friend who's with the Lord, Sister Lawson.
Yes.
And she was on the board there for many years. And
many years. Yes, ma'am.
She was about raising money, and she'd always, encourage everybody to take groups. And one of the things I know that she did, for one occasion I went there, it was for something where you have rooms where you can have parties, like anniversary parties, or
right.
Your companies can have. So tell us about those rooms they can rent out. And
absolutely, you said it. That was absolutely right. One of the things that happened when we moved here to 3535 Main, and we renovated the space, we knew that we wanted to be able to have something that would be able to be open to the community. And one of the ways that can happen is to have spaces that were large enough where the community could come and feel like this is home for them when they're looking for spaces. So we have a beautiful lobby that's enclosed with glass that, people have had weddings, parties, meetings, gatherings. And then we have a big 10,000 square foot space that people can do the same thing. Our young performance program takes place back there, but it's a big open space. And then we have a black box space. So we have 3 performing spaces that can be rented out at the Ensemble Theater that are affordable, and that you can feel like that you're continuing helping and supporting, the Black institution of the Black ensemble.
Right, and they're beautiful. Okay, and y'all know I'm really picky, but they're beautiful. And
they are beautiful rooms.
They are, and they can be really made to be even more
It
beautiful.
can be anything that you want. That's the beauty of it, is that you come in and you just see a big open room, and then by the time our facility person gets done talking with you, this room has become this beautiful magnetic, something you go, where am I?
Yeah.
And speaking of the Lawsons, the next play after A Motown Christmas is a world premiere that we commissioned the playwright Nelda Beatty to write for the Ensemble Theater, called The Lawsons, a Civil Rights Love Story. So it's about the love letters that Reverend William A. Lawson and Mrs. Audrey Lawson wrote to each other, over 600 letters that they wrote throughout their courtship. Then we're going to portray the fact of their courtship through the civil rights movement and through them finding Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church.
They are like our, they're a little bit older than we are, whatever, maybe a little bit more, I don't know. But we just really follow
Of course.
over the years, and just been in awe of their relationship. And of course, I was at her funeral, and they were talking about these letters and so forth, and what kind of personality she has.
Yes.
Identified with
Yes.
That she had, but she would get it done.
Oh, absolutely. Mrs. Lawson was a go-getter in nature, that she brought the whole family, and not just her own birth family, but the church family and the community family. She brought them together. When George asked her to be on the board, or she volunteered to be on the board, the two of them really meshed well together and made things happen.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure we get in what's coming up. You said about the Lawsons. The
Lawsons is next, and then we've got another play called Single Black Female. So for all the young women out there and young men that want to look at some beautiful Black females, it's called Single Black Female. That really speaks to, ma'am?
Is that for February Black History Month?
No, February Black History Month is the Lawsons.
The Lawsons.
The Lawsons, and then following that will be Single Black Female, and then we're doing a play about gun violence, because it's about informing the community and making people aware. And then we're doing another love story, but this one is on the heels of Sarah Vaughan, called Sarah Sings a Love Song. So that's what the Ensemble Theater is doing. Again, we're celebrating I'm looking down at my paper. We're celebrating our 45th anniversary season. We go into the schools and we do plays for schools. So if anybody's teachers or community organizers and they're looking for us to do something, we can take a play to your school. We go into the schools and do residency programs as well. We teach within the schools. And, there's a lot of things that we do that are happening, that we make sure that we're reaching out into the community in so many different ways.
So for my birthday this year, okay, is it the single ladies that are going to be, February 7th, when it's going to be playing?
So February 7th will be the Lawsons.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. We're going to bring a lot of people.
Yes.
Hey, y'all get ready to go. We got to go down there and see that. I just cannot wait.
Right. And I'll just tell you, because of COVID, the Ensemble Theater has been not at full capacity. So we have 190 seats, but we've only been doing 65% capacity, just because we want people, our audiences have said that they'll feel more comfortable with this, with social distancing and all of that in the house. So that's what we've maintained, and we've decided that that's what we're doing. All of our artists are fully vaccinated and they take weekly COVID testing. So we're doing everything that we can to keep our community, to keep our artists healthy and safe, and the same thing with our community. So there are Covert Protocols that you have to follow when you come to the theater. The audience doesn't have to necessarily be fully vaccinated or tell us that, but they have to get their temperature taken when they come in, get hand sanitized, and we social distance.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask you, because I went to one theater downtown and they said, you have to have proof, or else you can.
You have to have proof of your vaccination, that's right. Yeah.
Thing, or either on your phone, and I couldn't find it on my phone.
Oh.
It's a whole different story about how I got in, but I am fully vaccinated. I would never, put anybody else at jeopardy.
That's right.
That's good to know that that's taken care of, because I know people want to know that.
Yes.
So that's really what I wanted to know about that, what's coming up, and we will be down there. So
wonderful. And we look forward to, entertaining you all tonight with a Motown Christmas. And it's okay if you stand up and want to sing a little bit, or move your body, or do some of those dances that you remember back in the day, right?
I cannot wait. I know it's going to be amazing. Now, let me tell you something that I always really, really look forward to at Christmas time is the ensemble has some of the best singers. I mean,
Um,
oh my God, their singers are just amazing. So I know you're going to have some of those same
yeah,
people.
some of them will be with us. Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to look forward to it, and we're going to be there. Bring your friends, bring your coworkers. You don't want to miss this. And I think it's such a great partnership that we have, that we partner together to get it to the community.
Hmm.
Everybody can't make it downtown. Everybody can't buy the ticket or whatever. But if you come on out, we'll make sure that you are exposed to the best Black theater that I have ever seen. And I hate to just say Black theater because they really are up there with all the theaters. But I still have to be bragging on the Black theater because I brag on it because it is a theater of excellence. Okay.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
I say Black, it does not mean that you're going to get substandard or
Right.
be, the
Right.
place is going to be run down. That's why y'all need to make sure we get plenty of money in there, because I want to always have them to be able to upkeep it every year,
That's
keep
right.
it clean and keep it up to date with the latest and the greatest of things, because they deserve it.
Right.
They worked hard, and not only do they deserve it, we deserve it, right?
Yeah, that's right. You as an audience deserve it. And Lady O, you just said something when you talked about that's part of why First Net has chosen to do this every year for the last several years, because you recognize the importance of bringing the best to your community, and not only your community, your church community, but the community that you serve in that area, because some people aren't able to get to Midtown where the Ensemble Theater is and see a play. Some people don't like, a lot of our seniors don't like to, come out at night and come to a production. So for them to be able to come to a church environment that they're closer to, that's closer to their community, that's hugely important. And that speaks to the to who you all are and what you believe in, and how your support of not only the arts but your community is vital to what the city of Houston needs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We love the ensemble. We believe in the ensemble. So
well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for this. I want to also let you know that if you don't live in Houston, you can still come. I know when we go to the theaters, someone from the theater will come up front and welcome everybody. And they'll say, "Who's from out of town?"
Yes.
And we get people saying from Chicago,
all over the world.
Jersey, all over the world, they come to see us. So I want to encourage you to do that. I also like that the train from downtown comes right in front of the ensemble. So you can leave your hotel and come down in front, get off, and then go back downtown. So
that's right. And there are many other things that, because of the fact that, with COVID, we started doing virtual activities, Lady O. And so now they can go to the Ensemble Theater website, ensemblehouston.com, to get more information about what things we have that are going to be virtual, because we're always now going to blend that world a little bit. We're still in COVID, so we're still doing things virtually, but our main stage shows are in person. But it's great when you, as an audience, if you live in Chicago or New York or somewhere, you can go online and find out about something that the Ensemble Theater is doing, and you can still, support and be a part of what it is that we're doing. So thank you for mentioning that. I really appreciate that. You all are the best, man.
I tell you, you've been a blessing to me. I'm just so happy to have you, and just can't wait to see you tonight.
Yes.
Metropolitan Church at 7. Y'all get there at 6:30. Get in your seats and get ready.
Yes.
The amazing show.
Yes.
Motown Christmas. Is that the right title?
That's right. A Motown Christmas.
The Motown Christmas, I tell you. So why don't you share this with somebody, guys, and let them know. Bring a whole carload. You cannot miss tonight. And then don't forget to subscribe.
That's right.
We have to make sure that our love for this theater can be shared for generations to come. When we're all gone, they will be doing bigger and better things.
That's right.
Thank you, Miss Eileen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lady O. We appreciate you, and we love the partnership with First Net. We love you, Bishop Ogletree and the Ogletree family. Much love to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for always believing in what we do and supporting the work of the Ensemble Theater, where the E is for everyone and everyone counts.
Well, that's it, guys. So for Tea with Lady O, we'll see you next time at 3 for more relevant and interesting topics. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you before then.